This early season's been a party for us Arsenal fans. We've seen our 3 new signings win silverware, more than them lot down the road. We've seen 3 key players sign new deals. It's an absolute party. We're third in the table with 6 points. I know it's Carnival week, people, and it's an amazing week for me personally. Make sure you're at Notting Hill Carnival, people. I know it's Carnival week and them things there, but the boy from Brazil, Gabriel Jesus, is back in training, as has Fabrizio Romano, as just said there, and everybody else. As you can see in front of me again, we know he's had a minor procedure to do with the knee he previously suffered an injury with. I'm upset though, because Tierney's days look numbered at the club, unfortunately, man. The hottest loves really do have the coldest ends, people. And it looks like Tierney's set to leave. Him and a number of players did not train with the rest of the Arsenal squad. And I wonder, what is Arteta's thinking? Has he told these players and alienated them due to injury? Has he alienated them in the hope that they get on the phone to their agents and find new clubs? At least with Kieran Tierney, game management, he helps us a lot, really. Mikel Arteta as well has been speaking as well, people, really and truly, in relation to Kieran Tierney. And he said a lot of things, man. He said he's still part of his plans and so on and so forth. This was a man who a few years ago he said could be a captain. As the system evolves, again, tough decisions have to be made, really, because those that helped us get top 4 might not help us again. You've also seen Tierney has only played 14 minutes and not been in the last 2 match day squads so far this season. So it appears his days are numbered. Has him and Arteta had a debate, and Arteta's told him that maybe if you want more regular football, you need to keep it moving? I don't know. In relation to Balogun, though, every day there's another club which coming in for Mr. Balogun, and apparently Monaco are close to a verbal agreement with Arsenal on the striker, people. He's also been linked with Fulham, Chelsea, and allegedly West Ham, although David Moyes, despite being an admirer of Balogun, has been told the fee is firmly too much. So we'll have to see. I don't know what's going on, people. Anyways, away from that, quickly, people, make sure you're hitting the like button, you're commenting, and you're subscribing. The best things in life are free. As Arteta has said, non-negotiables, man. Come on, it's free, people, and it doesn't do you lot any harm. Now, I'm happy to see Tierney might move on if Arteta doesn't want him. I'm glad an ecstatic Jesus is obviously back, and obviously we'll have to see where transfers are concerned in terms of incomings and outgoings. In terms of other news, former Arsenal target Fresneda, it appears Sporting Lisbon are the favourites. We've also been linked once again with Ansu Fati, folks. I don't know if you lot believe that. Pepe apparently is in exit negotiations to join a team in Saudi Arabia. No clue what that means for Besiktas. We've been linked with Ivan Toney, who has 18 months to go on his deal. Apparently, we're hoping to raise 100 million in player sales, which I don't think is as crazy as it suggests. Brooke Norton-Coffey is set to go to Millwall on loan. We've been linked with Mark Gurhey as a potential replacement for Gabriel if he is to leave this football club. West Ham are on the verge of agreeing a deal for Kudus, as stated by Ornstein. Young striker Tyrese John-Jules is set to join Derby County on loan. We've been linked with Persar of Torino, people. He'll cost 40 million euros. And in terms of outgoings, what do you lot think is the next likely thing to happen? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, people, in terms of ending thoughts on everything we've just discussed throughout this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. In relation to Mohamed Kudus, again, I will never know because I don't work in football, the inner variables, but considering the teams he's been previously linked with, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Barcelona, actually, with the greatest of respect to West Ham and Brighton, respectfully, actually, I don't know why you would pick Brighton over West Ham at this moment in time, bearing in mind my personal feeling is, you know, West Ham's a massive club. I think their owners have done them a disservice, the fans I'm referring to, for a long while now. You know, West Ham should be pushing and doing a lot more. I think the Conference League victory over Gloss is their season. They won more games in that European competition than actually in the league. And if I was David Moyes, I'd be very frustrated. I know West Ham are getting a move on with a lot of incomings and outgoings. And obviously, they're, you know, it's a big club. They're in London. But considering the way Brighton are functioning, the fact that they're in Europe, the fact that I believe with Brighton at this moment in time, they're getting to that scenario where they probably need to hold on to a couple of these players, you know, the future Basuma, Cucurella, Benjamin White, McAllister, Caicedo, etc., because you're going to keep developing these players as we've seen during the Emirates era, and then they're just gone. And that might even frustrate Roberto De Zerbi and say, you know what, I want to keep it moving. Big fan of Brighton's system, but I just think they're getting to that scenario where they're clearly flushed in cash. They're clearly a well-run club at all aspects in terms of ingoings and outgoings, but but I think they need to hold on to players. So in relation to Kudus, was there ever big offers from clubs? I think there's admiration from clubs, really and truly, but were they ever as keen on Kudus at this potential time than Brighton or West Ham or anyone else? Maybe the Chelseas, the Man Uniteds, the Arsenals had other ideas as to what they want to do with their finances. I could see why we're linked with Ansu Fati, young. I don't like to believe he's a failed wonder kid because he's only 20, but for want of a better phrase, failed wonder kid, not really doing what he's doing. Spanish like Mikel Arteta, an adaptable player in many positions, fits the right age profile. They say 50 million, but you could see why he's been linked with Arsenal. Any reports you kind of read in relation to Ansu Fati, it seems to reiterate that he wants to stay at the club, and it seems that if he is to leave, it will be a board decision / his agent Mendes that gets him out of there. In relation to Arsenal raising 100 million, I did see it and think, oh, where's that going to come from? But then I started to deep it. If you do get some sort of fee of a 50 million for Balogun, you get something decent for Tierney, even though you've just heard loans. You get Tavares out for, let's say 10, 12 million. You get Lokonga gone for something like that. Assuming Tavares, Lokonga, Tierney actually get permanent offers, you add in the fact that we've got 5 million for Austin Trusty. We've got some money for Pablo Marie. We've obviously let go of Granit Xhaka. We've been given a sell-on clause, well, a percentage of the sale from Stuttgart to West Ham where Mavropanos is concerned. I don't know if all of these players will go, but you'd imagine these could bring in significant sums. And I do think it's an impressive summer for Arsenal. Where you look at Kai Havertz, him and Mikel Arteta are going to have to make it work, but you can see the angle. Allegedly, he was a key target, as was Timber and Rice. You can see maybe Havertz isn't exactly standing out at this moment in time, but you can see kind of what Arteta is trying to do with him. Evidently, you see what Timber brings, and just his profile was needed at this football club. It's a shame he's injured, and I don't need to talk on Declan Rice. Just go watch the Crystal Palace game. So we got them signing in early. We committed the Sakas, the Martinellis, the Salibas, and a couple of other players early. So there was no drama. You've seen what's gone on with the Caicedo and Lavia business and all these other clubs. We've seen it in previous years at Arsenal that contracts drag into midsummer / the end of the window. The same goes for bringing in players. I like the fact that we're proactive. I like the fact that we're getting rid of some players. And if we could bring in 100 million after spending around 200, then we're kind of, doing what we need to do. Obviously, shout out David Raya, who hasn't kicked a ball for Arsenal Football Club yet. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Kudus. That's my thoughts on 100 million. That's my thoughts on Ansu Fati. I would love Ivan Toney or Ivan Ferguson, 2 players we've been linked with this month. Obviously, where you look at Ivan Toney, 18 months left on his deal. I'm sure he's got a degree of loyalty to Brentford. They after building on his Peterborough spells, Brentford's been fantastic for him. He's been a central piece. Having lost Raya, I don't know if they want to lose at the other end of the pitch Ivan Toney in January when he's allowed to play. Obviously, they've been very loyal to Ivan Toney. They didn't turn his back on him either. I don't know how he will be in terms of match fitness, etc. But in terms of the profile, he's an organic striker. And Lacazette's not the best example, but he's a bit Lacazette with Aubameyang. I'm not saying he's them two ability combined. I just think his mentality is great. He can score goals. He can drop deep and contribute. He can press well. He can take a penalty. He can take a free kick. Obviously, he's an aerial threat. He can operate as a target man. Obviously, him being homegrown and Premier League proven also helps. Again, I think that would probably be one for next summer, if I'm honest with you. Ivan Ferguson would be lovely, but 100 million for an 18-year-old at this moment in time, which as much as I like Ferguson, there's not a good body of work. I don't know. If you're Brighton, though, you'll sit there and say, boy, Caicedo only played 40 odd times. He went for 100+ million. And you'd imagine Ivan Ferguson is probably going to be one of them Brighton players, the Matomas, the NCOs, these kind of guys that explode pause on the scene and things like that. So I do think we could do with another striker. If it was up to me, I think we need to move in the market for another defender just to get us over the line, because as much as I like Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, and even Tierney, if he stays, you don't know if they're going to be fit for the duration of the season, folks. So I think, unfortunately, because of Timber's injury, we're going to have to react in that regards and get something done there. I would like a central midfielder. I think I agree with a lot of Arsenal fans that wouldn't be against someone that is multifunctional or can primarily play on the right-hand side and fight with Saka. I know there was rumours of Pepe being reintegrated into the team, but we're at where we're at. Obviously, I'm ecstatic that Jesus is back in training. I don't know if the Fulham games come too early. Jesus strikes me as an individual that will be really, really pressing and banging on the manager's door. I just hope he's involved for Man United. With the greatest of respect to Eddie and Nketiah, we're just a stronger side with Jesus in the team. In relation to Tierney, I think he's being alienated along with the other players in the sense of, I think Tierney trains well. I think he's very professional. I just honestly think he's had a conversation with the gaffer. The gaffer's told him, I like you, I rate you, but you might not play the amount of football you expect to play. And having seen last season him arguably, not really get that much football, be an impact player from a selfish point of view, it's lovely to have on the bench as an option, but Tierney wants to play football. And I think the manager said, you know what, I don't think saying he's not committed is the right phrase, but you're not committed to this project right now, so you lot are not involved in my planning. Obviously with Arsenal, we've probably in recent years, if we was ever going to cope with a Kieran Tierney departure, on the face of it, Kyrgios, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, again, you have Timber to come back at some point. We probably are strong with that. I just hope we get decent money for Tierney, and I don't know if someone's going to bid, because you heard Aston Villa, Newcastle. Again, it looks like Luca Dean is staying at Aston Villa. It looks like they've got other left back situations to kind of consider. Lewis Hall's obviously signed for Newcastle. Sociedad have been linked with Tierney. I don't know if he favours a move to Spain, and it appears they're not going to bid permanently for him, people. In relation to Balogun, we're at where we're at this moment in time. Let's just get what we need to get, whether we believe he could be part of this team or not. Clearly, Arteta doesn't deem that. Let's get decent money, preferably sell him to Monaco. If he is going to be sold to the Premier League team, then that 50 million needs to be add an extra 20 million. Again, the more teams that have been linked with him, the better for us, because we hope there could be somewhat of a fight for his signature. But as we know, being interested in a player is very different to putting bids down, starting negotiations and things like that. I am happy to see us get a move on without goings. I don't have any information to go off, but I am hopeful that we could sign one more player or two if it was up to me. Maybe someone that can play left back and right back, and obviously a central midfielder, but I don't think we'll move for a central midfielder. So yeah, people, let me know your thoughts. That's my ending thoughts on everything we've discussed in this video. As you know, I'm trying to do this editing thing a bit, so bear with me as we make improvements. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Don't be shy. Hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and as usual, appreciative to all of you lot tuned in. Make sure you're following on all the socials. Links are in the description on the videos. Don't be lazy. Follow on the Twitter, the Instagram, the Twitch, the Kick, and all of that good stuff. Check out the rest of the videos and check out my August playlist. There's transfer news and analytical videos, all of these sort of things for you lot. Most importantly, people, stay blessed, stay safe. Hope you and your family are in good health. I'm out. One love.
Thank you very much. I think it's like